Well, hello everyone. It is Bukeka style, and we are here for another incredible episode of On Stage on Fave Unite TV. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I always have amazing guests. This is no exception. And so we are really excited today. Let me just tell you a little bit about our guest today. We are going to be talking to a wonderful human being, Professor Antwan Daniels. He started his beginnings in Oak Cliff, a community in Dallas, Texas, to his current desires to serve an amazing population in the greater Kansas City area. Professor Antwan Daniels is a chemistry professor. And with 12 years of experience in teaching chemistry, college chemistry, he has taught 113 courses and served over 2,100 learners. Professor Daniels has authored 5 peer-reviewed research papers presented annually at conferences and meetings, and has an intrinsic passion for the learning of chemistry. His guiding quote is, "I never want to be right, but I need us to get it right." Professor Daniels is currently pursuing a PhD in higher education with a focus on improving success outcomes for students in introductory chemistry courses. And what I was sharing with Dr. Daniels, or soon to be Dr. Daniels, is that my son Delbert was a chemistry major. And so I was always supportive of him as a motivator and inspirer, but I could not tell him any answers to any of his questions. So let's go ahead and get our soon-to-be Dr. Daniels, but Professor Antwan Daniels on stage with us on Fave Unite TV. Professor Daniels, go ahead and come on stage with us today. And you can unmute. Professor Daniels, or yes, Professor Daniels, can you go ahead and unmute for us? Professor Daniels?
Yes, I'm here now. Hello.
Wonderful. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being with us on stage on Fave Unite. How are you today?
Great. It's a great Thursday in Kansas City, and looking forward to having a great conversation, crucial conversations that change the thought process.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yes, I was just sharing with the audience about my son Delbert as a chemistry major, and so he's gonna love this interview. He's gonna love this interview, and because of that, I've got my notes, and you know why? Because I never want to be right. I need to get it right.
There we go. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes, yes. Great to hear that.
Yes.
That quote really has been valuable to me. I took about 18 years ago. Yeah, I'm 44, so I was about 26. I was just getting to that next level of manhood, and I was looking at my kids playing and stuff, and I was like, you know what? It ain't about me. It's about we. If we understand how we can do this thing together, then we'll get there. But if it's me just trying to drive it and it's my way, it won't work out. It won't work.
So true. So
Yeah.
true. And that seems to be getting more and more true with every generation.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes. Well, we've
Mhm.
got some incredible questions here for you. And, with 12 years of experience and 113 courses taught, what would you say has been the most significant evolution you've observed in community college chemistry students? And how have you adapted your teaching to meet those changes?
It's been twofold. So it's been, I guess you could say, a driver going up and then so a driver going down. Uh, One driver going up is their self-agency. Is them able to ask for what they believe they need through accommodations, through modified testing schedules, through different may it be more practice on problems, more time in class, the ability to say that, hey, this is what works for me. I've seen that become more prevalent and more effective in the classroom setting. Then I've also seen the more bubble down of a driver down of students who are to the point where they don't know what to say. They don't feel they don't have their niche. They don't have their voice. They don't know where they are in life. And instead of being more receptive, they just kind of become insult, become almost like a cocoon, like almost. Not saying they will form one day, but they kind of become bubble like, and they just stick to themselves. And those are the ones that I'm really looking into more, which hopefully one of my research will bring up the male malaise that I'm kind of seeing amongst men who feel like they're not, they're not, I'm not this and I'm not this, but then what am I? Yes. So,
Right.
so I've seen that in
Yeah.
chemistry. I see that in chemistry, probably the greatest dynamic, the self-agency and then the cocooning effect of just being quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you know, Faith Unite is a platform, an inclusive platform,
Sure.
and we also want to make sure that we're amplifying the voices and stories of the Black community and throughout the African diaspora. And I
Yes.
know that, again, just kind of referencing back to my son, having the desire and the passion for chemistry rather than some of the more uh, types of careers that are expected of Black men in particular, that I can understand what you mean by that. It can be a very isolating experience.
Yes, yes, very much so. And then to other experiences, I try to create, like I say in the classroom, I say people will say your network determines your net worth, and I say that's beautiful. But I say in this space we do nest work. So I put an S in there, and we make a nest that you can grow and be nourished in and developed in and be challenged, and then you'll one day have to fly away, but you always know that nest was there where your connections lie. And I try to be that
Yeah.
valuable place in many students. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that. So you've achieved impressive impressive success rates of 70% of higher uh, using or you've achieved impressive success rates of 70% or higher using a constructivist theory of learning. Can you explain the core tenets of this approach and offer an example of how it plays out in a classroom setting? Professor Daniels, looks like we might be frozen at the moment. Can you check your connection for me? There we go.
I want to
Okay.
change computers also because something's going on. But yes, so yes, the constructivist theory is based off of the fact that we all come into this place with our own platform, with our own foundation. We all come from these lived experiences, and to negate those experiences and to overlook those experiences and just say, "Oh, we do chemistry here," then you're actually dis- not destroying, but deconstructing learned pathways. The brain is about schema and schemata is about neural pathways that say, yes, I think like this and I move like this. So you want to still trying to deconstruct those pathways. You want to build up for it. So we do scaffolding. The constructivist theory is based off of a scaffolding mindset, but also a feedback loop. There's a constant feedback loop. One of my great quotes is failure is never final forever, but it is feedback. And so in the feedback loop, you're continuously looking for ways to improve, to gather more knowledge, and then to put that back into the situation of the learning cycle and then be valuable. Way I do that is by letting people take online quizzes twice, multiple attempts on homework, uh, uh, chances to reassess things in the classroom space when you have things going on, looking at your lab, making sure, giving you very challenging labs from the first lab and trying to show you that pathway, marking, making those negative points may come out, but also giving micro affirmations that to say, hey, you're on the right path. You didn't get a 17 out of 20. Well, you got a 17 out of 20. Next time you'll get 20 out of 20, and those kind of things. So those micro affirmations give you a space to build off your platform. As we was just talking about asthma, and a student from Grand Valley brought up the way that they learned about asthma in sixth grade was breathing through a straw and having to draw while breathing through a straw and closing your nose. That experiment had never been said before from a bunch of students. Now these students are wondering, how does this look? Well, people say, what's that got to do with chemistry? Well, in chemistry, we have gas laws. One of our biggest gas laws is Boyle's law. Pressure P1 times V1, P2 times V2. And so if the pressure is set to where it's going to be, but the volume has been decreased by a great deal, you're going to put a great amount of pressure on the system. And that's the breathing through the straw. So it's chemistry in action, but it was from a lived experience of a student that made the classroom now say, we should try it in class. If it draws more,
Ah,
yes. And so pressure versus volume, a gas law can be modified just like that. You can even go a little bit deeper into it if you was go into a cool room versus a hot go outside in the heat. You would see another gas law being exposed over the volume and temperature. Then you have Charles law in place about if it's hot outside, would you be able to get more air than you would in a colder room? So those kind of things kind of all come to life when you let people build off of their skill sets.
Thank you for watching OnStage on Fave Unite TV. If you're new to Fave Unite TV and you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a comment below, give us a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. If you'd like to see more content from Fave Unite TV, go ahead and subscribe. We're here for Black stories and Black storytellers. We're showcasing the culture on Fave Unite TV.